Welcome to clickmyproject.com. Our product title is 3-phase 3-level flying capacitors, split source inverters, analysis and modulation. Now we are going to discuss about our product abstract. In our process, mainly we focused for the exist and overcome to the proposed for that single stage DC to AC power converters using the split source inverters. The same concept that 3-phase 2-level in single stage DC to AC power converter topologies in the process. The operation and the modulations of the standard 3-level flying capacitors. They introduced the discussing that modulation operations, the mathematical derivations, and that diode clamp and flying capacitors inverters. Though both of 3-level DC SSI converters, one boost level converters, using the two stage of the diode clamping filters. In this stage of the 3-level flying capacitor combine the same passive networks with a 2-level SSI field. In the boosting action directly interface the low voltage energy source with the grid operations analyzed and the differential modulation strategies. And then the 3-level DC SSI modulations method, the highlights of the limitation for the 3-level flying capacitors. The 2-level of topologies and the 3-level of topologies compared to the 3-level flying capacitors based on the low inductance values and switching frequency. The lower number of the communication input diodes with using this some modulation of the carrier frequencies. We introduced the sawtooth carrier frequencies and the triangular frequency in the low voltage stress across the active switches. The main objective of our process, the low harmonic content of the output voltages. Meanwhile, the same time of the component frequency and the input current and inverter voltage due to the low frequency oscillations using the flying capacitor voltage to eliminate the closed loop control the process. Now we are going to discuss about our product flow diagram. In our process, we initially give the input source, means DC source. So we give the some DC voltage source for the initial input functions. The structure is made up the three modules. The first module is conventional full bridge circuit switches to generate the maximum and minimum voltage for the line to line waveform. The second one is the three bidirectional switches in the each phase to conduct the normal mode to sense mode of the particular phase. The third model of is the bidirectional switches to connect to the DC source. The switches are operated in optimized mode. In the operation, each switch is divided among the three phases. The second block is the clamping diodes. In the topology, we can be generated, and the principle of the process 3-level topology can be extended for the use the topologies for any number of levels. In the practical experience with the topology, we technically difficult and complicated for the high power converters. The first practical multi-level topology is a neutral point clamped PWM topology. The 3-level versions of the topology, several advantages of the 2-level topologies. In the drawback of the flying capacitor multi-level inverters with using the output of the off of the input DC voltage functions. The third one block for the 3-level flying capacitor. The 3-level flying capacitor combine the same passive networks for the 2-level SSI field, which include the boosting actions directly interfaces the low voltage energy source. The converter operations analyzed differential modulations with the aim of the limitation of the many 3-level DC SI field, the limitation of the high and low level of 3-level flying capacitors process. After we go into the DC to AC inverters. In the AC inverters, we give the some topology for the level of configurations we use for the 3-level, and inverters has the 8 switches and 6 diode and 6 switching capacitors for the flying capacitors. The several voltage level to line voltage waveform for the combined for the switches and diode like MOSFET, whatever we connected to the switching operations. Main application for that SV PWM applications using the PWM pulse width modulation with the multi-carrier for the one of the most preferred PWM structures, the space vector PWM is introduced. We give the input for the sawtooth and the pulse generated for the PWM controller. We get the signal from the DC to AC inverters for like using the switching operations diodes. So last we connected to the load. The load for the useful for the wide variety of applications. The low power consumer products to apply the current voltages and the impact of the load current. So critical decisions. So we overcome to the process the over current protection circuits. We introduce the level and the speed of the directions in the motor load. Now we are going to discuss about the product running procedure. In our process mainly we open the source code main coding, so just copy this path. After going to paste this home page for the address lines here, paste here. I have to open the main. This is designing full 100% coding for the main coding. So this is our designing for the Simlic model. So DC to AC process. So using the flying capacitor 3 level stage and 3 phase inverter for the DC to AC inverters. Just we go into the running this process. Before we where we get from the components list for here, this is the library browsers. Just click and whatever you need the components and which devices you need, just search and get it. This is all libraries available here for the any controllers based. So we use a Simulink for the SimScap something. So it search some device name and get it and place the designing process. So completely designing the process and go into the very important for the power guide. So power guide is the main process for that overall designing the power conceptions using the. So this is the power guide. So we introduce the this power guide for overall circuit in the panel. You introduce give the some voltage for the power guide. So after finishing the designing, going to the just run the process. So run automatically open, we connected to the scope. So each and every steps we connect to the scope line. So whatever current and voltage, how to we can invert and converters the process. So we just notificate for the scope level. After finishing this 100% coding level, we just open the scope model each and every block. For that we notify that the current and voltage level process. After completed this is, so going to open, this is a scope for the input. So this is our input for the 100 voltage for DC source and output for this level here. So this is a 3-phase output voltage. This is a AC model for 3 stage. So 1 2 3 3 stage 3 phase inverter for the AC current. So we give the some 100 voltage for the DC and we get almost 80 for AC source for that process. And the second the current level. So this is a current level for our output current, and this is the current level. So line to line and to space vector. So this is the current, each and every block current source for here. And then phase the space vector. We introduce that SPPWM process with the 2-phase voltage pulse width modulations process. And then here voltage level for the each and every phase level, ABC level for the voltage phase. So each and we have connected this level for that controlling process. So this block for the SPPWM controller devices and generate the sawtooth and triangular pulse generation and give the input for one pulse for the diodes. Okay, thank you watching our videos.